Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Andrew Mercer.
And we are here to talk about a really awesome event that we just got to attend yesterday. As we record this anyway. This review will go up probably after the actual footage that we shot at the event. But we are here to talk about Zedtown, which was a live zombie hunting and faction war role-playing game. And so it was... When you define it that way, it was technically a LARPing experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was essentially an entire event that we did a ticket giveaway for, and we got to get involved in it as well. They gave us 2 tickets, so basically it was a giant fight, a giant match between zombies and live humans who had Nerf guns. Every person was allowed to bring whatever they wanted as long as it was Nerf, really.
Well, yeah, they did have guidelines and stuff that they posted well in advance, so it was basically you can't modify it to where you're shooting these things at like 50 miles an hour, and nothing cosmetic to where you're hitting people and stuff like that. But realistically, go to the Nerf or go to the kids aisle, get a Nerf gun, you're good.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what everyone did, and in total there were about over 500 participants when all was said and done, and it started off with only 12 zombies, and then everyone else were survivors from the opposing factions, and it just slowly turned. It was just a giant battle royale, which Andrew's very familiar with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're here to talk about our experience doing it. I'm going to show a couple of pictures as we go here. This is one of the groups of people that we knew, actually. We knew this guy right here, second from the right. He is Chris, who actually was one of the guys that brought Dysonstein to the show, and he was one of the co-creators behind it. And then this was Andrew and I right there getting our dog tags. That was pretty fun. And then outside of that, I've got what the app looked like. So we'll talk about the app as well, but we'll just start right here. So Andrew, what were your overall thoughts on the Zedtown event?
I thought it was a lot of fun. You don't know what to expect when you hear, adult Nerf gun, color run meets 5K run. I really didn't know what to expect. They outlined it a little bit, but it was more just show up and kind of enjoy the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they did a really good job playing the part. They had this very loose storyline that you kind of had to follow, and it was good because anytime things got crazy, you could just kind of come back to that and be like, okay, what mission are we on? What are we doing? And then the guy's always over there screaming like, we need gas, we need this, we need that. So it was pretty fun being a part of the whole team mob mentality, running with like 30 other people in a group, pushing through all these other people. It was just a lot of fun. Something that I don't know, maybe some paintball tournaments or something like that could be relatively close.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, Nerf, these people were running full speed directly at you.
Mm-hmm. The zombies were allowed to run.
You're not going to do that with a paintball. You don't want to take a paintball to the face while you're also running, that fast. So the Nerf gun just kind of allowed you to operate outside of your realm, and people were taking spills. You could tell people weren't used to doing what they were doing. They were just pushing themselves because they were having fun.
They got way more into it than any of them thought. It was just a giant group of people. Like, they're the same kind of people that love going through haunted houses. And they just get really into it. Like, when we showed up, there were people lined up, and they had all kinds of different gear and vests, and you can see it in the video that's already live on the channel. So if you haven't seen it yet, feel free to pause this one. I'll put it in the description box, and you can go and check that one out so you can see the actual vlog of the experience. But yeah, essentially, before we get into what it was, my overall thoughts were that it was very successful. I didn't know how they were going to attempt it going into it, but they actually had, even though there were a lot of obvious moving parts, I thought they acquitted themselves very well for having this event on such a grand scale. It took place at a place called Rawhide, Western Town here. It's a huge Western themed town here in Arizona that made for a really interesting cover and all this stuff because there were Western buildings. There's old school carriages and all kinds of stuff like that you can hide behind. There was our home base was a giant barn.
Yeah.
So like there was a lot of different things that lent themselves to the game. And so if you've ever played Capture the Flag before, think of it like a little bit of that, because it was 3 teams to start besides the 12 zombies, and one of the missions, the very first mission in fact that we got, was Capture the Flag. So that mission aspect was a lot of fun. The team aspect, like you said, was a lot of fun. The interaction between all of us, and how some people were just straight up into it military style, like all of that just made for such a really, really fun experience. But yeah, essentially there were 3 factions: red faction, yellow faction, blue faction, and you can shoot each other, but that doesn't kill you. You can't die from that. All you do is get stunned and you have to go back to your base to respawn. The only people that can kill you are the zombies. They just have to tag you. They can run, but if you shoot them with your Nerf gun, they can't tag you. They're dead. They have to go back and become zombies again. So that's how it works, and it was just a matter of lasting through 3 hours to the evacuation. That ended up not lasting 3 hours. Ended up lasting 2 hours and 15 minutes because otherwise, well, there were only about 17 or 28 by the app numbers, but I think we both heard 17 survivors total at the end. So it was definitely out of 500, with still 45 minutes left on the actual clock. I think no one would have survived if they had kept that.
Yeah, you could tell that people started screaming out about an evacuation point, and I think at that point in time, like, all the bases had been overrun. Like, there was nowhere to go. There was nowhere that was safe. So the people that were surviving, I don't know where they were at or what they were doing, but they weren't at a base and they were still alive. So
yeah,
kudos to them. Again, it was all about survival. It was all about teamwork, and clearly they had some groups that were more coordinated and stuff like that than necessarily what we were doing. We were just kind of teamed up, running around, trying to have fun. But you could, like I said, there were people military style, go in. The QR codes were how you got the missions. They'd scan a QR code, leave, come back, get another one. I mean, they were just, like I said, military about it. Get this stuff done, whereas other people were just like, let's go over here. I don't know how many people on our team walked up to the other team without even knowing it was them. Like, what team are you guys? Blue team. Oh,
yeah.
We shouldn't be here then.
Right. There was some confusion going on and disorganization and stuff, but none of us knew exactly what we were getting into, so that was bound to happen. But I mean, I guess since we can't break it down like a normal review, we can break it down in a different section. So let's talk about the overall physical activity that went on.
They compared it to a 5K run. They said it was like a color run meets Call of Duty, I guess. So
right.
There was a lot of, there was a decent amount of running, but also now having been through the experience, there's a different way to play it to where you don't necessarily have to run.
Right.
Some of the more intimidating guns that people were walking around with didn't operate amazing.
And they were really heavy for a lot of people by the end.
But they were enough to keep people that, like, I don't want to get hit by that thing. So they wouldn't even try. So whereas the people that are just walking around with the little guns, the people will charge you at that point. So, but I mean, one of the guys that was one of the best zombies, I guess he was like a track runner.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he did the Pat Tillman run or something like that.
That morning, yeah.
So he literally did that, came here, and he just started chasing people around as a zombie. So, and they had an award for the guy that had the most. And he was actually taking people's dog tags, not just scanning the QR code. He was taking them.
Yeah.
So good thing he didn't run into me, because we would have an issue.
Well, So to me, there was a lot of physical activity, which I didn't mind because I've been trying to do a lot more of that anyway. And you can't help. I'm the kind of person that can't help but get into it. Whenever I play paintball, same thing. I get really into it. So I tried my best. Obviously, I couldn't keep up with you running with a flag, but when I had to bring back my own gas container, I did my best there. But it was definitely tiring, and I was sore in a lot of places I hadn't been sore in for a while.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was really cool. The only thing is, the place they had it at had a lot of uneven terrain, and as it got dark, it became a little bit on the dangerous side, including cactuses, little mounds of dirt that you can easily roll your ankle on, and things like that.
I started seeing a lot of people head towards the first aid tent as the sun went down.
Yeah,
that's something. I made it just as a joke, but there was literally one light generator for the entire area that was basically 2 bases. I think they did an alright job, but if we would have started a couple hours earlier, they wouldn't have run into that problem.
But it would have been too high. It was at 3. That would have started at like 3 o'clock then.
Yeah, I would have taken the heat. It's Arizona. Anybody that lives here would know. Drink water, do the thing. And plus, there's shade, there's covering, there's plenty of stuff to not necessarily be out in the sun. So.
Right.
Again, I would take that over having to play in the dark. Because I could, basically the reason I got caught was because I got caught in a crowd of people. You couldn't tell who was who. Bands are ripped off or whatever at that point in time. And it was literally just chaos. Like nobody, the 3 teams had, or the blue team and the red team had formed this faction, and that we were moving around, and then we got swarmed by zombies. Nobody had any idea who was who. Unfortunately, I just got tagged, and then that was the end of everything.
Yeah.
It happened so fast.
Now, the overall story of it, we can't talk about the story of it. I mean, it was just zombies broke out, and there was 3 factions, so I think they could maybe get a little more into the story, although it might have taken too long if that mayor guy had talked. So, you know what? It probably was about the perfect amount of story for such a massive event like this.
Yeah, and like I said, with the app, I don't know if you want to show them the app, but they did a really good job of keeping track, you know, just knowing, okay, how many zombies are there. You have a current mission, which... you get completions for and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had QR codes everywhere, and at the home base there were a bunch of different missions that you could take on, including capture the flag, steal, you know, liquor from Daddy's cabinet, something like that. And if you brought them back, you would get black market coin from your, you know, home base master. What do they call him?
Faction leader.
There you go, faction leader, home base master. Whatever. But yeah, you can see on the app here. They had the tally of live and dead, because as soon as you got tagged by a zombie, when you go in to get made a zombie, you have to switch on the app from alive to dead, and so that's how they were able to. You keep track like in Fortnite, you know, it shows the amount of people that are now dead, and when it swayed, when it was like 300 zombies versus 200 survivors, it started to change fast.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we got out when there was 86 people left. And it was only 10 minutes before it was 17 people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, when there's that many it does not leave a lot of real world hope if fast moving zombie plague ever breaks out.
Yeah, definitely not gonna be good. And if we have to shoot them with Nerf darts, it's really not gonna be good.
No, exactly, for sure. Yeah, we weren't allowed to shoot them in the head. You'd think you'd be allowed to, but no. I mean, you don't want to get people in the eye with little Nerf pellets.
Honestly, having gone through it, there's a strategy I would like to implement, and it's more throwing and less shooting, because I feel like you would be more accurate throwing than shooting.
Yeah. But
in the same sense, I mean, you want to bring a gun, you still want to have fun.
Yeah.
Still want it to be Nerf.
There are plenty of stories from it. I think we actually talked most of them out last night.
Yeah.
But there's one that we should talk about, the little moped zombie.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
A wide range of zombies. Like I said, we had the track athletes that were running around trying to tag people. You had like people that understood to like hide and stuff, or to like they wore their bandana, but they'd wear it in a way to where you couldn't see, and you'd have to ask them, like, hey, are you a zombie? And they'd answer in the dumbest ways. Like, well, I don't know. Like, anybody from a faction is like, literally like, yeah, this faction, yeah! And then you get an answer like, I don't know, maybe. Like, clearly, okay, you're dead. So, but it was right around the time the sun was going down. The red team was kind of breaking up. It was getting a little hectic. So we reconvened. We're pushing up with this group, and all of a sudden, like, everybody kind of like jumps back, right? And this guy on a moped, he must have had something going on where he couldn't walk or he couldn't be on the terrain, something like that. And he just scoots out in plain view of everybody, just scoots out, minding his own business, walks up to the guy and goes... Scoots up, and just lightly taps him and goes, "I'm sorry, but you're out." You know? like the most nonchalant, and then the guy next to him's like, "Oh God," and blasts him away. Like standing right there, just boom, darts to the, well, not to the face, but I mean point blank.
The first guy was just like incredulous, like, like just totally unsuspecting.
And the guy, you know, it was the nicest zombie you'll ever meet, honestly, because like I said, he just came up, touched the guy, but then we realized, like, dude, anybody's fair game at this point in time. You gotta, like, anybody could easily come up and do the same thing to you. Don't trust anybody at this point in time. We watched it happen right in front of us.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun.
That was fun, and you know, everybody was laughing, having a good time. It wasn't super serious. It wasn't like, "What's this guy doing?" You know. So that one was one of the better ones. It's so many stories. I could go on for minutes and minutes.
Maybe we'll do a podcast about it sometime.
Maybe.
Tell the stories.
Or we'll just wait for the next one and do a massive.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas we want to do for the next one. It's called Zedtown, and we really wanted our Zed the Zombie Hunter to show up.
Bring him back.
We couldn't get it done in time, but it was still a really fun event, you guys. When it comes back here, or if it comes to your area, I think they said someone was working there that just did it in California, they said, and they came out here to do it again. So, it's definitely worth the money. I think it was like $40 to do it. We were provided tickets by the PR company. In all transparency, we didn't say we'd do a review, but we wanted to do a review because it was just so much fun. You know, it was a lot of camaraderie. It was the kind of thing I haven't done since, you know, I'm in my teens or early 20s, playing capture the flag and stuff like that with some buddies. So it was really a lot of fun. So yeah, I highly recommend it, you guys. Any final thoughts from you, Andrew?
Go. You have to request it if you're watching this in another city that's not Phoenix or California, or wherever they did. I know Texas is trying to get one. Minneapolis is trying to get one. You have to vote for it. You have to get out on social media. They said that was the last thing they said to us before we left, is if you like what you're doing and you want us to come back, put it on social media. So I can't tell you enough. Go out, tell people about this. Some of the people that we know in the horror community didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
So it just kind of snuck up. So if you want it to keep coming back, you gotta say something.
Yeah. Definitely do so, you guys, because it's worth your time. It absolutely is. I mean, it was a 3-hour. It was technically a 4-hour event if you arrive at 5, and then they started it at 6, and it went until 8:15, but it was supposed to go till 9. So if they get the balancing a little bit better, then it could go till 9. So it's not a short event. It's worth the money. So yeah, definitely look into it, request it if it's not available, but I think that's going to do it for our review of Zedtown, Phoenix. It was a lot of fun, and we will be back. So thanks very much for watching, you guys. Leave a comment down in the description box if this sounds like it would be something fun for you. I will, again, link in the description box as well as at the end of the video if you want to watch the vlog that we did while actually there. I tried to record as much as I could. But, you know, I was caught up in the actions, and the battery life was dying, so we still got, you know, a good amount of footage, at least 10 to 15 minutes worth of stuff to show you. So thank you very much for watching, though. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Andrew Mercer.
And remember,
stay scared.